Good morning. Hi guys. How is everyone? How far did you get on your big guys yesterday? I've got almost all of them except for the outline. And as I was doing this, I realized I probably should have told you that around these plants here, you'll have some just regular straight lines, meaning you can't do the same stitch that we did around the outside because some of them it won't work for. So don't be alarmed if you have to do just a couple one-off straight stitches throughout here. So I thought we'd do something easy today since we had a lot of work to do yesterday. And what we're going to do is these little guys here. And I'll show you two different stitches that you can do, matching my fingernails to my thread today, eh? So I'm going to take just trying to think because I don't have very much left of this. I'll take 3 strands. And we're going to learn the fern stitch and the fly stitch. So I know that we've already done the fly stitch with this one. So I'll show you the fern stitch first and then the fly stitch, and then you can decide which ones you want to use for the rest of it. And then if you wanted to, at the very end, sprinkle some more up through in different places, you could do that as well. So let's get started. Come on, you can do it. Okay, so the main difference between the fern stitch and the fly stitch is that the fern stitch makes really sharp edges. Like straight, because all of the stitches are going down in the same hole, and it's more just an arrangement of straight stitches, whereas the fly stitch, the bottom stitch holds that one straight stitch in place to make it look like a V. So if you remember down here, we did some over here, but it's just that one stitch that makes it into this V shape. Whereas the fern stitch, we're going to make them all go through the same hole, and that's what's going to keep them in the same shape. It'll make better sense in a moment, okay? I'm just doing a little knot on the end. Okay, so the other thing I want to say is that I've put these just at random space apart. You know, you can make these really close together and make almost like a, I'll just do it here on the back of my needle thing. You can make them really close together like that. And it almost looks like a feather, or you can make them more evenly spaced apart like that, and it will make more like a fern. You can choose whichever one that you want to do. There's no right or wrong way, and really when I drew this, it was more just like a placeholder for what I wanted to put there. So if you feel like making them closer together, you can do that, or you can put them even farther spread apart. Okay, so we'll do the fern stitch first. The fern stitch is just 3 straight stitches that all go down in the same hole. So we start at the top. Let's see if I can make it a little bit closer. Hi. You start at the top, then you do the left. Same hole. Then you do the right. Same hole. Yeah? And then from here, you go from here up through here and then down here through the same hole to make the next part. up through here, same hole. Yeah, so you get this little like almost like a bird footprint type situation. So this stitch here, however long you put this, will be how far apart these V leaves go. So if you make this stitch here really long, it means that your next V isn't going to be until quite a bit further down. But if you make this one really short, it means that all your V's can be much shorter because they're all going through the same hole. Yeah. So wherever you put that stitch, that's going to mark how far apart these are going to be. Hi, George. He should be a pro at embroidery by now, shouldn't he? And then you just continue with this pattern for the entire time. Let me just move the pen because I've caught it. Hi, Sarah. Just in time for the rain. Hopefully it'll wash the bird poop off. And then in my head, these right here were behind these ones. So I'm going to try and go like tuck them in, you know, underneath these guys. If you really wanted to push it back, instead of going on top of this like this, you could put it underneath so that it's underneath that one. Yeah. Let's see if this one will make it. Yeah, barely. Oh, I just stitched my dress to my hoop. Thank you for bringing a much needed break. Oh my goodness. Oh, I've done it with t-shirts, sweaters. Sweaters are easy because you can really just like pull them out, you know? And I'm going to put this on top of that brown line that was for like the seabed shore. It's actually quite chilly today, you know. I walked to Little this morning and got cherry tart, standard. And then and walked back, and it wasn't too bad. But it's quite chilly, you know. Whoops. Got me a knot. That's what I get for making my thread so long, so I don't have to change it so often. So just keep an eye on that if you make your thread this long too. Is that it's easier to get a knot. Also, if you find that the thread is twisting on itself a lot, then just take your hoop and flip it upside down and let the needle dangle down. And then all of the thread will start twisting like this. The needle at the end will twist. Oh, please, I really don't have that much thread of this thread left. So I can't just be using it all like willy-nilly like that. Sorry, guys. I thought I had it. That little fish looks really like sly, like ha ha ha. Try and get that knot out. I did it. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna end that one there. Obviously you can keep it going like farther down if you want to, like down into, you know, the sand, like down in here. But I'm just gonna leave them like that. And the next one is the fly stitch. So it'll be like the other one that we learned, but you're gonna, instead of having like a little tacking stitch there, you're gonna have that stitch go all the way down. So maybe I'll do it on this one so that you can see it a little bit easier and a little bit longer. Okay, so we're going to start with a regular stitch like this on the very tip. And the same thing applies that I was talking about with the fern stitch. You can make these much closer together if you want to, or you can keep them spread out far apart. It doesn't matter which one that you choose, but you kind of have to think about it now before you start stitching, because it's not one of those stitches where you can just go back and add some things. Like the satin stitch, if it's too far apart, and you find out later, oh, I'll just add a couple stitches. Or like these ones down here, and you think, oh, do you know what? I'm gonna add some veins down here. This isn't that kind of stitch. You kind of have to think about what you want it to look like now, and then stitch it that way. So we'll do the straight stitch down. And I always think of these as the fly stitch, like, you know, they look like little birds trying to fly away, like they're flying, you know, like when you're a little kid. Oh, thank you. I didn't cure them long enough though. They're the gel nails, and then when I went to bed they pushed down, so I've got some nice little indents of my other fingers there. Do you see them? Perfect. But you know when you're a little kid and you make birds like a V on the paper, that's literally what they look like. So we'll come up on the left or the right, it doesn't matter. If you're left-handed, then you'll probably want to do it right to left. And you'll go down on the right and pull that through, leave your loop. Leave your loop. And then you're going to come back up in this one right here. Yeah, that same hole on the bottom. See? And this is where we did it, how we did it before. But before, we just did a regular stitch on the other side, like a little tacking stitch to just hold that down. But this time, we're gonna make these here as long as you want your next leaf to go, same as the other way. So you're gonna make that tacking stitch longer, and that's what's gonna keep it this one stitch in the shape of a V. So sometimes if you don't pull them tight enough, I'll do a couple more. But sometimes if you don't pull them tight enough, they almost, instead of looking like V's, like straight V's, they almost look like a U because they're just not quite snug enough. But as always, I will caution against pulling them too tight because you don't want your fabric to pucker up and have that little, Tori, why did you do that? Because once the fabric puckers like that, then you're kind of done. You can't really do much to unpucker it. The other thing that you need to keep in mind is that these here should be in like the same hole. So you really don't want it to be down like this. Okay, so if I do one like that, you'll see that there's a separation between these and they don't actually make a full stalk, okay? So you do not want it to be like that. Really? Again? These are also great if you wanted to do really short ones on this side. And then as they get down to the bottom, they get wider and wider and wider to make almost like a triangle shaped. I get my hoops from a wholesale shop, so I have to buy like a ton at one time. And you have to be a business in order to shop there. But yeah, I mean, try someplace like Cloudcraft there in the UK. Or Hawthorne Handmade, I think they're in the UK as well. I know sometimes you can get like the Ella Bees hoops instead of the bamboo hoops. They're more, oh, that's a good shout. They're more expensive, but they'll be like a higher quality, you know? And then Alice just says, I got some great ones from Marie's cross stitch recently. That's good. Were they the bamboo ones or the hardwood, like Ella Bees ones? I'll put that one there. Okay, so let me do a little knot on the back. I'm not gonna lie, I love these ones from the back. It makes a really nice chevron pattern, and I think it looks so pretty. Okay, so let's just take a zoom backwards and have a look at both of these. And then you can see the differences. This is where I'm in art class. If I was an art teacher, I'd be like, tell me the difference between this one and this one. What do you see? But yeah, so these ones here, have very, very, very sharp. Okay, so Alice says, I got bamboo, but unlike some I've had from Amazon, they were all flush and tidy. I got a couple of plastic to try too. I'm not a convert just yet. Yeah, so some, like the Amazon ones can be really crap sometimes, I'm not gonna lie. I had to use some of the Amazon ones, and I had to like throw out half the ones that I got. But yeah, so these ones here will be a very straight V, very sharp points here down at the bottom, whereas these ones here, they're more like organic looking because they have that like soft V shape. Both of them are fine. Both of them are good. It just depends on what kind of look that you want, you know? So have a play around with those. I tend to choose the fly stitch a little bit more often, only because it's quicker. I think it's quicker. But you may think that the other ones are quicker. It's just personal preference, really. And like I said before, the Fern Stitch is just a sequence of straight stitches. So it's not like any kind of special stitch, do you know what I mean? It's just straight stitches arranged in a way that make the shape. So yeah, I figured we'd do an easy day today because we did a bit more work yesterday, and then that will give you a little bit more time to do your, I'm pointing over here, to do your things from yesterday. And again, since I don't have so much thread left, I'm definitely cutting instead of just jumping around. So yeah, what's your favorite? Are you a Fern Stitch or a Fly Stitch? Which one do you like better? I think it's nice to see them like next to each other as well, so you can like see how pointy these are. Now we have one that's over here somewhere. Obviously you could omit it if you wanted to, meaning you don't have to do that if you feel like you've got enough already, you know, if you don't want to go over those. I'm going to. I might make it a little bit bigger than I'm supposed to. Okay. Just a little one here. We've got a vote for fly stitch, 2 votes for fly stitch. Oh, we've got another music one. Another music ad. This is intense. Ooh. How fun. I feel like someone's making like breathtaking discoveries or something. I think they're talking about pee-pee. And obviously, if you don't like it, then don't do it, you know? If you look at this one and think, not a fan, then just don't do it. Come on. Okay, so you can see how that looks so far. I think some people are quite afraid to do the layering because they don't want to go over the work that they've just done. You know, like I've just stitched it and I've stitched it so beautifully. Now I have to stitch over top of it. And what if I mess up? But it is good because it gives you that layered, like another dimension to it. Freaking hell. This ad is going on forever. Oh, okay, again. Sorry, guys. It's a teeth whitener. Oh my god. Oh, no, it's a teeth cleaner. It vibrates in your mouth. That sounds dirty. Okay. Susie says, I like it. It will detract the eye from my messy leaf from yesterday. And it's one of those things where you can choose how much you want to add or how much you want to not add, you know? I mean, if you feel like the satin stitch is really just a bit too much for you, you could always just do the outline and then leave it just as the outline and do the line down the middle with the couching. Job done, you know? feel like I've done 3 fly stitches. I know, doesn't it? She says, oh my gosh, that ad sounded like someone was climbing Mount Everest and not teeth cleaning. So I thought it was the music one about like, there's one about like this guy in his music studio and he's like talking about how he like makes all this music and blah, blah, blah. And it like shows him like in the music studio. No, it was pretty freaking intense. I thought it was a teeth whitener. But it was like, this is not for people who clean their teeth because they want to. This is for people who clean their teeth because they must. Like, doesn't everyone clean their teeth? Like morning and night? Because that's what you have to do. I don't know anyone who brushes their teeth because they because they love it. Sorry, guys. But yeah, like, don't you just do it because you have to? I hope so. Yeah. Sorry for those of you whose kids are watching this. I didn't mean to. Potty mouth. But yeah, so I've done a lot of green so far. I feel like I've used a lot of green. So I think I need to start putting some colors in. Some nice like corals and pink. Maybe some blue. I don't know. I kind of feel like I should have used like a bright color for this, but too late now, innit? Yeah, see, if I would have done the fly stitch for this, it would have been done already. It just takes long, the Fern Stitch. But you get those nice, crisp V's in there, and they look really nice. So there's that. Okay, I might stop that for now because I didn't do the outline yet, and I want this right here to be like on top of the outline. And I'll just keep going. But these are things that you have to think about, okay? What do you want to be in the background? What do you want to be in the foreground? How are you going to make it all fit together? Saludos desde Mexico. Hello. I guess these can just live behind because I'm not changing it now, am I? And then we'll do this very last one over there, and that will be the end. And then obviously with this one, we're gonna go over that. So if you go a little bit into that leaf, it's fine. Don't stress out about it. I'm literally just gonna keep going until I run out into this plant, which is right now. Okay, so there's that one, and then I'll do this one and we're finished. Easy peasy, right guys? Okay. Too far off the fabric here, but that's okay. Yes, Veronica says, I love how you can make them bendy as if they're moving in the water. Yeah, so they don't have to be really straight up and down like some of the other ones are. You can do some like swaying a little bit. All right, well, that's it for this Tuesday. I hope you love them. Try them both and see which one that you like. And then, as always, no shame if you only try one and then decide, nope, I'm not doing that again. That's totally fine. And then, if you want to add more, I would wait until like the weekend when we have a bit more done. And then you can see where we can add a couple more of these if you want to, because they're really easy. Because they're really easy to do, and they're quite effective. So this pattern is in my Etsy shop. It's called the Sea Life Stitchalong. And if you don't find it in there, it's just because there's not any left, like the number. So I'll check right after this to make sure. Because you have to put a number in the quantity. So let's zoom out and have a look at what we've done. And that's all that we're doing today, is just that bit. So I still have to get yesterday's video on YouTube. I'm going to do that right after this. And then upload this one as well so that they're all up there. And then that should be all of them. And then obviously they'll be on IGTV immediately. Because easy, you just push down or done and it's done. It doesn't have to like do the subtitles and everything for it. So there's that. Make sure you're going to the Barmy Fox SAL and leaving some likes and comments on other people's work. It means so much. You have no idea. And it's meant to be like a little community, you know? It's not just me and you. It's me and you and like 250 other people. So spread the love, y'all. Okay? Oh, I've got a package. Hello. Is it on the front? Oh, thank you so much. Have a great day.